Hey guys, a warm welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing my honest experience with the VEVOR Walk-in Tunnel Greenhouse, 19.4 by 9.7 by 6.5 feet hoop house greenhouse, and I've been using this for a while now to grow vegetables, protect plants, and basically test whether this thing is actually worth the space it takes up in your yard. First thing you need to understand is the size. This thing is not small. Once it's set up, it feels like you just added a whole extra room outside your house. You can easily walk inside, move around, set up shelves, and grow a decent amount of plants. If you're serious about gardening or even thinking about small-scale farming, the space alone makes it feel worth it. But also, be prepared, because once you start filling it with plants, it gets crowded way faster than you expect. Now let's talk about the build quality. The frame is made from galvanized steel, and honestly, that's one of the main reasons I picked this. It feels strong enough to hold up against normal weather conditions like rain and moderate wind. It also comes with ground stakes and support ropes, which you absolutely should use unless you want your greenhouse flying away like a kite. The frame itself is decent, not industrial level strong, but definitely solid for the price. The cover is made of PE plastic, and this is where things get interesting. It's thick enough to hold heat inside and protect plants from cold weather, which is exactly what you want from a greenhouse. During the day, it traps heat really well, almost too well sometimes. If you leave it closed in strong sunlight, it can get seriously hot inside, so ventilation becomes very important. That's where the 12 windows and the roll-up zipper door come in. You can open them to control airflow, and honestly, they make a big difference. Without proper ventilation, your plants would basically cook. Using it daily feels pretty straightforward. You unzip the door, walk in, and you've got this controlled environment where your plants are protected from wind, pests, and sudden weather changes. I've noticed that seedlings grow faster and more consistently inside compared to being fully exposed outside. It also helps extend the growing season, which is a huge advantage if you're trying to grow crops earlier or later than usual. Now let's get real about the setup, because this is where people either love it or regret their life choices. Assembly is not exactly difficult, but it does take time and patience. The instructions are not the clearest thing in the world, so expect to spend a few hours figuring things out, especially if it's your first time building something like this. Once it's done though, it feels rewarding because you've basically built your own greenhouse from scratch. Another thing worth mentioning is durability over time. For normal use, it holds up well, but in very strong winds or storms, you'll need to reinforce it properly. Some users also mention that over long periods, parts of the frame can start to show wear, especially in wet conditions, so placement and maintenance matter. If you take care of it and secure it properly, it should last you a good amount of time. One thing I personally like is how flexible it is. You can use it for vegetables, flowers, or even as a temporary growing space before moving plants outside. It's not a permanent structure, which actually makes it more versatile. If you ever want to move it or adjust your setup, you can do that without too much trouble. Of course, it's not perfect. The plastic cover, while functional, isn't something that will last forever, and you may need to replace it after a few seasons depending on weather exposure. Also, if you live in an area with extreme wind or heavy snow, you'll need to reinforce it more than usual. This is not a heavy-duty commercial greenhouse, it's more of a budget-friendly, practical solution for everyday growers. Overall, I'd say this greenhouse hits a really good balance between price, size, and performance. It gives you a large growing space, decent protection, and enough features like windows and ventilation to actually make it usable long-term. It's especially great for beginners or intermediate gardeners who want to step up their game without spending a huge amount on a permanent structure. If you want to check the current price, click the link below for the best price. For what it offers, this greenhouse can seriously upgrade your gardening setup and give you more control over how and when you grow your plants. That's my full experience with the VEVOR Walk-in Tunnel Greenhouse. It's not perfect, but if you use it properly and set it up right, it can make a big difference in your gardening results and actually make the whole process more enjoyable.